Hey everybody, Movie Viewer Next Door here, and you might be wondering why this review wasn't up earlier, and it's because I was having issues with my computer, so I fixed it. The audio issue was a USB, so I'm now using my USB 2.0 port on my laptop, and it seems that the audio is great. But yeah, to get to this review, this film is The Contract from 1999. This is the post. That is the poster. This film is from 1999, of course. Directed by Casey Bascom, and it stars Joanna Black, Billy D. Williams, Julian Tassielli, and Laurent Imbolt. Now, in this film, Hannah has been trained in the lethal art of assassination by her father Luke, a former sniper with the Special Forces in Vietnam. When her father is unexpectedly killed, she is forced to choose between the violent world she knows and the ordinary world she does not. As the sun rises on Capitol Hill, Senator Harmon prepares to announce his candidacy for leadership of the Republican Party and ultimately the presidency of the United States. The only thing that could deny his dream is the exposure of an evil past full of deception and murder. Hannah engages herself on an action-packed journey that takes her from the mafia underworld to corruption in the highest levels of government. What she's about to discover could be the greatest and most sinister conspiracy of all time. Now, what did I think of The Contract? Yeah, I really didn't like it. Now, I'm not going to say it's like one of the worst things ever again, but it's definitely not a good action movie. It it feels like it both wants to go in a more dramatic direction and also doesn't because the acting does not live up to it. And I was actually kind of looking forward to this because I was like, "Oh, I've never heard of this Joanna Black girl. Maybe she's a good actress. Maybe she can actually do the martial arts, so it'll be nice to see someone else from that time period who was like a decent actress and could do fight scenes like Cynthia Rothrock. I definitely think Cynthia Rothrock fits in that um excuse me, wheelhouse. But yeah, let me get to the cast. Joanna Black is Hannah. Okay. If I can say one thing, I feel like this actress has used guns before, so it doesn't look like she doesn't know how to use a gun. At least that. But her acting leaves a lot to be desired. It feels like she's kind of bored. The fight scenes are very, especially with her character, are very lackluster, don't really have impact. She's beating up guys twice her size, and it doesn't really feel like she's actually doing anything. Um, Billy D. Williams as Senator Harmon. I like Billy D. Williams. I liked him as Lando. I liked him in Batman. Um, he's okay here. He's not given much in the way of backstory or anything. His character's very one note, very just crooked. From the first moment you see him, you know he's crooked. Julia Tassielli is Jimmy. He's the boyfriend of Hannah that she's been like hiding from her dad because she's afraid that the dad won't like him. He's okay too. He's kind of the goofy boyfriend, even though he runs an art gallery, which I was like, puke. Because fuck modern art. Um, it's gotten worse now, but still. Uh, I he was okay. Laurent Imbolt as Luke, her father. This actor has been in exactly 4 films, so I'm guessing he's just very inexperienced. But he was like the best acting performance of the film because I actually bought what he was saying. He was still wasn't great, but he was acceptable. Um, and yeah, this film doesn't really give me much ammo, even though I really didn't care for it. It feels like it's trying to be a stylish action movie uh starring a woman, which could be cool. You have films like Long Kiss Goodnight from I think 3 years before this, starring Gina Davis, who was fantastic in that film, acting wise and action wise. She sold it because I buy Gina Davis as a leading lady, a leading action star, because she kicks ass. She's awesome. Um, I know I'll get shit for this for saying these two in the same sentence, but Angelina Jolie in the first Tomb Raider. Well, I don't mind the second one. I don't think the second one's as good as the first one. I know I grew up with the first one, therefore my opinion doesn't matter. But I do like her in that first one, really, because she seems like she's having fun with it. She's not just, oh, I'm a woman, you're a man, all men suck, which is how most of these are nowadays, which is how the Tomb Raider reboot was. Fuck that reboot. Fuck Alicia Vikander. 'Cause she wasn't good. She just wasn't. And she barely had anything to do. But in the older Tomb Raider, it's like, oh, she's like very free with herself. She's doing all this for the thrill and not the money. It's very much like the game character. And then Alicia Vikander's just like, yeah, I'm bored. My father, whoa, I'm going after this amulet, so it's boring. But we need more strong female characters like those that are like fun to watch, enjoyable. Cynthia Rothrock, for instance, in Undefeatable, she is very fun. She kicks ass. She does a lot of her own. There are like a couple stunts where I can see like her jumping off a wall and kicking someone in the head, which isn't her, I don't think. I can understand why they would want to do that. They don't want her to get injured, so they have a stunt person, which that's okay. But most of the fights where it's actually fighting, she's just doing it, like jumping on these barrels and shit, and like actually fighting. You see, this movie was so boring that I have to talk about other movies that I like more. And Undefeatable, I don't even think that's a great movie. I think it's decent. I think Honor and Glory is the better of the Godfrey Ho Cynthia Rothrock movies because Honor and Glory is a lot more focused. Given that it's a Godfrey Ho film and most of his movies are just like two movies that he was working on meshed together, the fact that I'm even saying that is fucking insane. But like, we need more female action stars like Cynthia Rothrock, Gina Davis, Angelina Jolie back in the day. Um, Frickin' okay, I'll say this. What's her face from The Enforcer that was also in uh shit, what's her name? Tyne Daly from what show was it? Mary Beth Lacey and Cagney and Lacey, like even she sold her role because I bought her like killing these guys and all that, and I bought her toughness. I thought that was a good role for her was the enforcer, and like this actress just doesn't have it. The script isn't great at all. There are a lot of scenes that drag on for too long. There's a scene where she points her gun at a freaking cop that's like talking their ears off, and he's played like a fucking buffoon, uh, like a cartoon character. And then he sees there's blood on the back of the car because she had hit one of the guys that was chasing after her and her boyfriend. And for like a good minute and a half, we're in this location just stuck with these, and the then they like cuff the cop to the wheel of his car. Like, eh, I this film has a big issue with tone. Um, the film tries to be very, not full on comedic, but there are comedic moments in the second half, like after the father character is dead, that just really don't work. They feel really like they just don't work. They just don't. Um, it just feels very, you know, yeah, it just doesn't work. Especially like right after he died, like there's bits that are meant to be funny or whatever. There's like bits where it feels like she completely forgot that she was just visiting her father's grave that day, and it just doesn't make sense. It really shows her lack of acting, like, like lack of acting talent. She's been in like 7 movies. I know of one of these, Night of the Living Dead 3D, but that the only reason that movie exists is because Night of the Living Dead is in public domain, so literally anybody can make sequels or remakes or whatever. Uh, but like, yeah, um, the action in this, there's in the first like 30 minutes, like before the father dies, the action is it's one of those movies that it's very clear that they didn't have the money to pull off the action. And I know I say that about like, oh, under on any budget you can have action. It's the way that they stylize it, because this film tries really desperately to have a visual style but without the budget or the talent. I know it might sound mean, but the talent to pull it off, because the most they ever get stylish, the most stylish they ever get is a character a character shooting somebody, it plays it again and plays it again like a fucking Tony Jaa movie. But in that, there's like actual interesting shit happening when it does the like replay thing. Here it's just, oh, she like shot somebody on the ship, and like starts running. She like jumps up onto this part of the ship, jumps up again, and then keeps running. And I'm like, this feels like it's padding the runtime. This movie is only 90 minutes. It is 90 minutes. So this movie just feels so. This kind of feels like one of those movies that's made like in a state that has like a tax credit, just or for tax season as a write off. This kind of feels like that, because it doesn't feel like anything new or interesting. And I know I've liked a lot of action movies that haven't had literally anything really that new. They've been kind of generic action movies. But if you do a generic action movie well, it's still entertaining and it's still like compelling as a story. This film isn't. It like I don't know if they spent all their money on Billy D. Williams, but they should have like not had Billy D. Williams, like put some other actor there. Like a throwaway villain is better than like wasting an actor on a role that's like below the actor. Because Billy D. Williams is a very charismatic guy, very charismatic actor. So seeing him here, it was just like, like whatever. And the poster they use on Tubi shows some random other woman. It's not Joanna Black. I know what Joanna Black looks like from this movie. It's like her in like a camo vest with a big like automatic rifle, with a scowl, and she's got like a buzz cut, and there's like an explosion behind her. There's like one explosion in the movie, I think. It's okay, kind of underwhelming, but that cover felt so different from the tone of this movie, where it kind of feels like a soap opera at times, and not in a good way at all. Because in some soap operas you get some decent acting. Um, Here, the acting for the most part is either just okay or bad from Joanna Black. And yeah, again, the fight scenes she has, she doesn't sell them at all. Um, she doesn't sell the emotion of certain scenes, especially the scene where she finds her father dead. Usually scenes like that, you don't even need the best acting for me to like tear up. I didn't tear up at all because I didn't feel anything that was going on. So I don't know. They really fucked that one up. Um but yeah, excuse me. But yeah, it just feels very a lot of things about this film just feel lackluster. Like there's nothing really to latch on to other than the music, I guess. Um who was the music by? The musical score from Haig Armin was nice. It was like electro jazz kind of thing, some little bit of rock. I don't mind the like mid late 90s types of scores like Boondock Saints the same year. Boondock Saints is a fantastic action movie. It really is. Um, Fantastic comedy too. I think it's very fucking funny. I know there are a lot of people that are like, "Oh, it's all just making fun of autistic people or whatever," and I'm like, "No, it's not. It's called Take a Fucking Joke." And if you don't like the jokes, why are you watching the movie? If you know that it's trying to be like edgy, why would you watch the movie if you know you're gonna hate something for being edgy? So I don't know. But yeah, I guess I'll get to the pros and cons. Pros, the action at certain parts is okay. They do use squibs. They don't get so lazy that they just don't use squibs at all. I've seen that with quite a few movies where I was kind of pissed because that adds to an action scene. Um, Again, the score by High Garmin was decent. Um, Billy D. Williams again was okay. Cons again, Joanna Black, the boyfriend actor. Pretty much everybody else in the film other than Billy D. Williams was just not great at all, not good. Um, the action scenes again, while some of them are that's about the best I can say. There are some where it's clear that they don't have the money for a squib, so they have an actor point the gun at the camera and have it off screen because that counts as action. It doesn't count as action if there's not like a back and forth or anything. Cause like a film I'd say did this type of thing better would be Codename Banshee with Jamie King, Antonio Banderas, Tommy Flanagan, and the girl. She was the female bully or female school shooter in Run Hide Fight, which I know everybody shit on that movie. It has a 3.4 out of 10 on IMDb. I understand that, uh, and again, in my written review of that film, I did mention yes, there are issues with the film. The film looks ugly. It has a really bad color grading to it. Um, the CGI blood looks like garbage, but the thing is, I had fun with that. I had some fun with it. It was pretty decently action packed, to be honest. It didn't take too long to get going. It got going from the beginning and never stopped, except to like grow the characters, and I didn't mind Antonio Banderas or Jamie King's character. Again, she's another actress that I could buy being an assassin, Jamie King. I like her. I do. And I wish she got more roles. Um but yeah, like that film like did like the whole assassin thing better. I just don't buy Joanna Black as an assassin. I I guess I'll keep like looking at these random movies. But yeah, again, yeah, the action not that great. If it's very obvious that they're shooting around the budget, and yeah, again, I don't recommend it. There's some people that think it's all right. I haven't seen any 5-star reviews on this. Again, this is just my opinion. I know there's probably not going to be anybody upset, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed the review. Uh, comment down below, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever, and movie review next door.